What's going on, guys? Sickbit here, aka Meek, coming at you with another Draft League Presents. Today we're going to be going over Charizard Mega-X. Alright. So this is something that I have used once only, and I just drafted it in the Pokemon Battle League. So I'm going to get some more experience with it. But my initial thoughts with Charizard Mega-X, actually I'm on the wrong screen, here we go, is a really strong Pokemon. A really strong Pokemon. And a unique typing in Dragon and Fire. Only Reshiram has that typing as well. So I think it's a really fantastic mon. WPF has it at 17 points. I believe it's... I wouldn't say it's a 17-point mon. In my opinion, I think it's a 16-point mon. I think it is a... a top 7 Mega Pokemon, in my opinion. I think overall, probably in a draft, this is taken probably maybe 15 or between the 15 to 17 range, in my opinion. I don't think it's taken very highly. At 17 points, I don't think I would draft Mega-Charizard-X. I don't think it's quite there in usability. At 17 points, I think either a 16 point or even a really high 15 pointer is where I could see it going. I definitely think it's better than Venusaur, Medicham, but yeah, Pinsir I think it's better than, but I don't think it is a 17 pointer in my opinion. If the point totals go up to 18, that's just my opinion. I think it does have some really strong typing. Dragon and Fire is a really strong typing, and that's what allows it to get to that 15 to 17 range overall, and then top 6 to 7 Mega. So let's kind of go over why I think it should be drafted so highly, So we have Charizard Mega-X here on Smogon University. So the Fire Dragon typing, let's go over it a little bit more in depth here. So we got resistances, or very strong resistances, so that's 4 times resistances to Fire and Grass respectively, which are very common types, very strong types attacking wise. Fire definitely is one of the most offensive typings in the game, and Grass being one of the best utilities. So those are two really good resistances. It also has resistances to Bug, Electric, and Steel. Steel being one of the most common types as well. And then you always need a fast Electric type, and that's from that Dragon typing that he gets that resistance. And he gets the resistance to Steel and Bug with that Fire. So I think that's pretty good that you have a Dragon type that resists Steel, because that allows you to pair this up with a really nice Fairy. And go to town. So I think that's really interesting. And then weaknesses to Dragon, so itself, Ground, and Rock. And those are coming from that Fire typing. There's no weaknesses from Dragon except for Dragon itself. So I think that's an interesting typing and really helps its viability. Let's go over Tough Claws real quick. So Tough Claws, every contact move has their power multiplied by 1.3, which is really strong. It's every contact move, and it's not like another move like Jaws or what the biting moves. I can't remember what they're called, but you can see that a couple of Megas get this, and then other notable mons is Barbarical and Lycanroc respectively. But it's not very many mons that get Tough Claws. Okay. So that's a really good ability, making it, even if it doesn't invest in its offensive, it still has a Life Orb boost. So that's pretty strong if you go physical. So let's go over this HP here, or let's go over the statistics here. So the stats here, 78 HP, which is okay. It's a little bit lower than a Genie would be. Most often they're going to be 79 and 80. But then the attacking stats, you see the 130 in each, allowing it to go either way with its offensive capabilities. If it wants to go special, if it wants to go physical, it can do both. It's not hitting as hard as Mega Diancie per se, but the HP is a lot higher than Mega Diancie's. And then the defense at 111, which is really strong, especially for the Fire Dragon typing. I think that's really strong. Not having many weaknesses other than Dragon, Ground, and Rock, and then having a lot of resistances, that's really going to help being a bulky I know that I've gotten swept by a fully specially defensive Mega Charizard-X with Sub, Roost, Toxic. I have 100 with Flare Blitz. Yeah, I was not happy. But that was kind of young in my career, but I do remember this putting in a lot of work, and I was not expecting a specially defensive one. I was expecting just to sweep the team with Volcarona. That didn't go how it planned. And then 100 speed it's a really jumbled speed tier, but I think it's good for draft because it is in that middle. It's right above the middle. Actually, I think the middle would probably be about 80, 70 to 80. And 100 is right above, that tier of middling speed tiers like 90, 95, 96, 97, 98. So I think that is pretty good. Speed tying with a lot of Pokemon, and a lot of the time this allows you to not run that much speed and not boost your natures if you're going against something with 80 speed or lower. So I think that's something interesting. A very, very offensive mon, can set up very easily, and let's get into why he's able to do that. So I just want to go over the pre-evolution, before Mega. It does take it's 4 times weak to rocks here, so you do have to be wary of that. You're not getting any help with the abilities per se or the stats really. So you kind of want to Mega Evolve as soon as you can to get all these really, really nice stats, and that not take another 25% from rocks. So you kind of want to get this guy in pretty quick, unless they don't have a strong rock setter or something like that, or you have a nice defogger, Feeny or something like that. Excuse me. So let's get into the moveset for Mega X. Yeah. So we got a Dragon Dance set here, which is one of the best sets for Mega X, and the reason for that is because of that Tough Claws boosted raised attack. So you have Dragon Dance, so you have 1.5 times your attack plus 1.3 times any physical move. It is going to hit absolutely insane. So Dragon Claw, Flare Blitz, very good coverage. Earthquake is, a lot of times for things that resist, which I would think that anything that resists Flare Blitz is going to be, water, those kind of typings, water and rock, so I think Dragon Claw might be a little bit better, but maybe Earthquake deals with the rock types. I'm not sure. And then Roost for a reliable recovery so that you can heal up, and a lot of the times you're going to be a little bit tankier if you're a Dragon Dance set, so you can try to dance a couple of times before you need to get going. So let's go over another set here. Okay, that's not what we're going to look at. Here it is. Okay, so we got a 3 attacks Roost, which is this is a strong one too. You get Flare Blitz, you get Outrage, Earthquake, and then Roost for reliable recovery, which is the same, very, very, very quickly. You can just dish out a whole bunch of damage and then Roost off whatever you need to. And I think this is really good coverage. Outrage if there's not very many fairy types left, or if you see a weakness in a person's draft and they don't have strong fairies, then you can definitely bring Outrage and just absolutely go to town with a 3 attack set. That could be really, really good. I think we're just going to go over the moves. Next, I talked to y'all, actually the last set that I wanted to talk to y'all about was that Sub, Roost, Toxic, Special Defensive, because that means that you're both defensive. You don't have to invest much in that defense because it's 111, and then just invest a little bit in that 85, and then you can definitely tank a lot of special defensive hits, stay behind that Sub, and then really just Flare Blitz, Roost, Toxic, whatever you need to. So that could be really, really strong. But that was the last set that I wanted to go over. So let's go over these moves here. So Acrobatics, you're never going to use this. You're never going to have your item knocked off because you're a Mega-Charizard-X, and your Z Crystal, or your Z Crystal, your Mega Stone will never be knocked off, so you don't have to worry about that. This is good for 4 times weak Pokemon, Virizion, different guys like that. You even get a special Air Slash because you were a Charizard before this, Flying type. Belly Drum is a really interesting set. I've seen sub Belly Drum with Roost, or sub Belly Drum Quick Attack. I think he gets Quick Attack. I think I've seen that before. Quick Attack, here it is. So sub Belly Drum Quick Attack. I've seen Belly Drum Quick Attack. I've seen Belly Drum. Belly Drum Dragon Dance before for that speed boost. Was it agility? Oh no. Okay. So let's move on from Belly Drum. So this Belly Drum just maxes your attack, so +6 off rip. Okay, so I think that's really strong. And if you can have a strong priority move, Quick Attack's not super strong, but if you can have one, that can be really just run away with everything. I mean, that's how Azumarill goes to town. But yeah, Blast Burn, which is I wouldn't recommend it unless this is like you absolutely need that 150 base power. Then go for it. Okay, and that's a really heat set, but that's a really strong move. It only has a 90% accurate. But it has to rest the next turn, but it will blow something away. Okay, so just make sure you calc to make sure that you need this. So let's get into it here. Counter could be interesting for a sub counter set. I've seen that put in a lot of work. It does get defog, but you don't want to use this as a defogger. Does Dragon Claw, Dragon Dance, of course. Here's Pulse. Rush is pretty nice. Doesn't get Draco Meteor. Yeah, it doesn't get Draco Meteor, which sucks really for its special set. So it has to rely on Dragon Pulse as its main way of dealing special damage, dragon-wise. But regardless, it's a good Earthquake here. You get Fire Blast, of course. Here's the pledges. Punch for physical if you don't want to run Flare Blitz. Does get Flame Charge. For boosting that speed. Flare Blitz is the great one. Let's see here. Heat Wave is okay, not too good. I would rather run, Flamethrower or Fire Blast. I'd really rather run Fire Blast. I've been getting kind of crazy lately. I've just been running, low accuracy moves. I'm just feeling comfortable clicking them. Outrage is great. Overheat's pretty good. Quick Attack, of course, gets Reflect. I don't think it gets Light Screen. I don't think it can get Light Screen. Does get Reflect though. Return's okay if cut moves are not allowed. Roar is pretty good. Roost here. Rock Slide. Does it get Edge? Doesn't get Edge. Okay. So Rock Slide is your Rock type thing to stop Volcaronas and those kind of guys. Let's see here. Roost, yeah. Shadow Claw is pretty good. Skull Bash has its it boosts the defense on the first turn. So it's a 2-turn move, but it boosts the defense on the first turn. So it's like you're using withdraw and then you're hitting 130 base power. So that could be interesting. Could be some heat if you needed to sweep. So if you needed to boost your defense, and then you could go Dragon Dance if you needed to, just for instance. Solar Beam's pretty good if you're running a Sun team. That can be really strong. And that's a good way to beat a lot of the water types that like to switch into Mega-Charizard-X. Tailwind's pretty nice support. Of course, you have your substitute. Steel Wing can be good for fairies. Yeah, good for fairies. Toxic, of course, Willow, and Work Up. So Work Up's an interesting one, boosting both sides so that you don't tell your opponent which side you're going. If you were to Dragon Dance first, then they would know that you're physical. But if you do Work Up, they still don't know what side you're on or what side you're going to hit from. So I think that could be really strong. I just quickly want to go over the new moves that it has gotten, which is Blaze Kick. Let's see here. I think there was 2 more. I'm looking right now. Dual Wing Beat, okay. Let's see here. Heat Crash. It gets Heat Crash, so the heavier that you are, the more damage it will do. So that could come an interesting. Mega Kick, Mega Punch, I'm pretty sure is new. Hurricane is actually, yeah, I think Hurricane's new. Let's see here. I think that's it for the new moves. But those are some pretty strong moves. Oh, it also gets a Scale Shot and Scorching Sand. I try not to forget about that. Mystical Fire is pretty good also. I just went through that pretty quick. No competitive use. Okay. Let's see here. I just want to make sure that I'm going through everything. Okay, boom, 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 boom. That's it. Very good, very good, very good, very good. So we'll go back here. So Mega-Charizard-X, very, very strong Pokemon, very strong Pokemon. You know, I haven't talked enough about how strong it can be physically. It's a little bit weaker specially, but I think physically is where you want to be most of the time. But of course you have that option. It's 130 base power on both sides, so don't worry about not having a special attacker, because this guy can do it, okay? And I've seen people even Dragon Dance and then go special. So it's not unheard of to do those kind of things. But I think I want to get into some pairings for a Mega-Charizard-X, okay? So the resistances that we're looking for is Dragon, Ground, and Rock, and you know what fill all those is a Steel type that is floating. So I don't think you'll ever be able to, but if you're able to get Celesteela and then Charizard Mega X, that would be a great pairing. It would take away all of those weaknesses, and you would be a free switch in. Of course, you have to know that Mega-Charizard-X is resisting electric and strongly resist fire, so that is a very, very good pairing. If you're able to grab Celesteela first, because he will definitely go before Charizard Mega X and then get Mega X later, that's very good. I think that's more doable. I don't think getting X first and then Celesteela, I don't think there's any chance that happens. So that's something to think about. Another Steel type could be, let's see here, Excadrill is probably not the best, but I do think that a nice Water can also work well, because Water will hit everything super effectively that it is weak to, except for Dragon, and a lot of the times the Water types will have an Ice move to take care of those Dragons. You are also removing a so Mega-Charizard-X is not weak to Ice, it is neutral because of the Fire typing. So you're taking another Dragon type out of the pond of Dragon types that are not weak to Ice. So that is something also to look at. So Water type is pretty good. Obviously, if you could ever get a Water Dragon, if you could ever get Palkia, pretty freaking good. But I don't think you will ever be able to. Maybe in an Ubers League, you definitely could. I think also a strong Fairy is also pretty good. One that's not weak to Ground and Rock. So Mega Deontay is probably not. Or you actually couldn't do Mega Deontay. But I think something, you know, Clefable's okay. You know, Gardevoir, that's okay. Oh, actually, you couldn't do Gardevoir. Okay. So, let's see here. Yeah, Clefable is pretty good here. Even Jirachi could be pretty good, except for the ground weakness. Yeah, you could definitely swing. Where is he? Why is he not in this tier? He should be in this tier. Azumarill pretty good. Excuse me, Azumarill really good actually as a pairing. Ground Rock. So Azumarill just sets up on those guys' belly drums and then kills everything, and then it also beats Dragon types with Play Rough. So I think those are a couple of good mons. Excuse me, that you could pair up with. And now Azumarill is going, you know, lower and lower, and even into the tier 2 is what I've seen in a couple of drafts. So those are interesting. That it's going lower, because I still think it's a very, very strong mon. But I think that's it for me. I gave a couple of pairings. I went over the stats. I went over where I think that it should be drafted, and why it should be drafted there. So with that, I'll see you later. And that's Sickbid, aka Meek, coming at you with another Draft League Presents.